Okay, in today's battle, we have a last stand. The Imperial forces made up of Enforcers, Sisters of Battle, and Astra Militarum are held up in this defensible area in the center. Coalition of Imperial forces held up against the Xeno invaders. This planet has seen a battering, and the Orcs have now pinned them in this position. However, there is relief on the way. A super heavy tank with some scions is on its way. We just have to hold out until they finally arrive. So the mission is going to be that the Orc invaders will be coming on from random board edges to come in and attack the Imperial defenders. The Imperium just have to survive, and the Orcs have to come in and kill off as many Imperial forces as they can. Can they do it? Well, let's find out. But first off, let's look at the forces coming today. Okay, so here's Paul's Orcs. It's a freebooter force of 1,000 points. So, Paul, do you want to go through what you've got starting from the right over here?
Of course, yep. So we've got 5 burners, including the mech with the custom blaster.
Yep.
Then we've got 10 Goth boys with a knob with a power claw.
Very nice.
And then we've got the battle wagon with 4 big shooters, a grabber claw, and then the kill cannon upgraded to the 2d6 shots one.
Very nice.
Oh, and the death roller. Go have a death roller.
Why wouldn't you?
3 bikes with the knob with the power claw.
Yep.
And then we've got the war boss there, who's on the Death Killer War Trike, and he's got Warlord trait, Might is Right, and he's got something. Oh, he's got the squig-eye tires for an extra couple of inches of movement.
Oh, very nice. Very nice.
And then we've got 10 Gretchen, just Gretchen it up there.
Yep.
And then we've got 10 shooter boys there with a knob who's just got a shooter, and it's got a big shooter in it.
Very cool.
We've got 5 storm boys at the back, just Slugger and Chopper.
Yep.
Then we've got 2 more characters. We've got Big Mech with a custom force field.
Yeah, this guy here.
Yeah, that's him there. We've got the weird boy standing behind him with the Warpath and the jump.
Naturally.
Obviously. And then we've got 5 looters in the end there with a Big Mech with a big shooter.
Very nice.
All freebooters.
All freebooters. 1,000 points of Orcs. There's a lot of Orcs there. Wow. Okay, so let's have a look at the Imperial defenders. Can they hold out against these Orky boys? And here we are, my 1,000 points of Imperial defenders. So it's made up of a battalion of battle sisters here, of the Vile Fawn Sisterhood. And over here, we have some Imperial Guard defenders as well. So we've got a preacher here. We've got a commissar with a power fist and a power sword, and we've got some enforcers. So the enforcers will be acting as veterans with combat shotguns and a sniper rifle. The sergeant there has got a las pistol and a power maul. So obviously it's a bit of a narrative game, so we're not overly fussed with that bit. Down here we have got a canoness with a blessed blade and an inferno pistol. We have the palatine with the plasma pistol. Magifier with the tail of the warrior. Back here we've got 2 squads of Dominions, all with Stormbolters, and with combi plasmas there on the Sister Superiors. At the back we have 2 Retributor squads. This one here with 4 multi-melters and a combi melter there on the Sister Superior. Over here we've got 4 heavy bolters and a combi melter there. Finishing up the force, we've got 3 Battle Sister squads of 6. Each of them is pretty much a standard bolt guns, but they have all got a heavy flamer in there as well, just in case the Xenos are getting nice and close. We are not going to do Acts of Faith, as this is more of a narrative open play game than your standard match play. However, we have got our Sisterhood traits, one of which is the mini transhuman. So the Battle Sisters can't be wounded on a 1 or a 2, no matter the strength. And they have also got the ability, with one of the members of the squad die, they will get +1 to hit for the rest of the game. And that is the Sister Squad, Sister Force here. So let's move on to deployment and seeing where they position themselves. Right, so both sides are now deployed. So let's start off with the defenders in the middle here. See what we've got. So we have got a Battle Sister squad down on this corner. Up in this building, we have got the Retributor squad and a Palatine in this firing point up here. Moving into the centre, we have got the veterans, got the Commissar, we've got the Preacher, we've got a Dominion squad by the Imagifier, we've got the another Battle Sister squad over there. Up in this tower, we have got the Heavy Bolter Retributors, so they're going to be holding out there, just firing shells down upon the filthy Xenos. Down here, we have got the other Dominion squad. We have got the Canoness down by the broken down tank, and we've got the other Battle Sister squad. So the Imperial force is deployed first because we are holding out against the Xenos, but the Orcs have surrounded us. So let's go through the Orc deployment over here. So Paul has set his forces into 4 250 point, roughly rounding up, rounding down, little areas. So over here we've got the Battle Wagon and the Goth Boys. Down over here we have got the Storm Boys. We then have a big squad of the Gretchens or the Grots, depending where you are. We have got the Looters over there. Just trying to put it all into context where things are on the battlefield. And then we come over to this edge over here. We have got the Burners, we have got the Weird Boy, and we have got the Shooter Boys up against this wall here. So Paul saw what was going on and decided wisely to go for that edge. Some of them were random edges as well, actually, to be fair. We have rolled off the edges. Over here, then, we have got the Warlord and the Bikers over on this side. So the rules are that when an Orc unit is destroyed, it will come back on a random board edge, and we're going to roll off to see which board edge it will come back on. The Orc mission, as we now know, is to essentially to wipe out the Imperial Defenders. Imperial Defenders have to hold out for 5 turns until hopefully Relief Force turns up to save them. So we have now deployed everything on the battlefield. It is time for the roll-off to see who will be going first, if it's going to be the Orcs or the Imperial forces. So let's have a look. Paul, do you want to roll for the Orcs?
For the Orcs, 4.
So right, here we go. Oh no! So
coming to get you.
Yeah, he's coming to get us. So let's see what he can do in his turn 1. So we are not doing a movement phase. I should have said this before, because the Orcs have deployed 9 inches away. The only movement they can do is just getting within 9 inches if they were further away. So Paul over here just leaves the Shooter Boys, kind of curled them around a little bit, so 9 inches away from this Battle Sister squad. Similar down here for the Burners. Terrain in the middle is giving us +1 to our save, no matter what it is at this point. Similar to the ones around the edges for the Orcs. They'll remain where they are. Everyone else has pretty much remained where they are. The Bikers over here just edged up slightly, just so they're 9 inches away from the Imperial Defenders. And we're going to move now into Psychic and Shooting for the boys. Right, so we had an attempted ability going off down here, a bit of warpath going off, and we denied it, luckily. However, it's now on to shooting, and we've got some burner boys down here who are going to be doing the burning on the Battle Sister squad, which is down there. So, Paul, do you want to see how many shots you've got?
Okay, 4d6 on the burners.
Oh, that's okay, not too bad. 14?
14 shots.
14 shots, right, we can do it. We can hold out.
8.
Come on, Armourer Content.
10, 12, 14. I haven't got any AP, so it doesn't matter.
Oh, no.
Okay.
Right.
So, strength 4, toughness 3. We're doing 3s. Oh, hello, there's some good numbers there.
There's a few 1s and 2s going on there. Okay. Oh, no. But is that enough?
Is it enough? 3,
9?
6, 9 wounds at 9.
9. Here we go. Here comes some free up. Here we go. Believe in you, Battle Sisters. Okay, so that's two down. That's not too bad. That's not too bad at all. So we're going to take 2 off there. Let's see what else he can do in a moment.
Got a custom Mega Blaster from that squad as well.
Oh, custom Mega Blaster. Yeah, let's do that.
Okay, I do.
So we lost 2 Battle Sisters so far.
That is on the
Let's
rules.
remove that one and that one there. Let's keep the Heavy Flamer. I've got a feeling that might be of use in a moment.
Salt D3 on the custom Mega Blaster. Here we go, just 1 shot.
1 shot with the Mega Blaster.
Okay, he needs a 5 to hit. He's missed.
No, he's missed. Right, okay, let's come back in a moment. Okay, so turn 1 shooting. So we saw the burners going off here, doing a little bit of damage here. Then we followed up with the shooter boys down here. Yeah, one more battle sister died, but we're still got 3 holding that point there at the moment. So let's see if they can make it account for themselves. Go across the battlefield. We came down here to the war boss and his biker buddies, and yeah, didn't do much, unfortunately. However, over here, the the looters did took out one down here, followed up by the grots, who did another one. Typical grots. When you don't want them to do something. There you go. So those squads, if just a reminder, are now getting +1 to the hit rolls. Down here, we then had the orc sluggers down here firing off into here. Onto Dominions. Didn't do anything here. However, the battle wagon did fire a lot of Dakar and came in against the Dominion squad down here, and yeah, took out 2 of the battle sisters there. So a few casualties are mounting up already for the Imperial defenders. However, they will not falter. They will hold their ground. Let's move on though to turn 1 assault for the Orcs. Right, so turn 1 assault for the Orkies. Over here, yeah, he made it in, unfortunately. We did interrupt, however, we did 1 wound back to him. Then he fought and killed off 3 of the battle sisters in that squad there. So 1 remaining with the heavy flamer. Moving across here, however, the battle wagon charged across the ramparts, killing, I think it was killing out 4 of them initially with a diff roller.
Yeah, mortal wounds.
Oh, and the mortal wounds, yeah, did 3 with the mortal wounds and then 4 with death rollers, so leaving 3 there. They fought back, unable to do anything. As of the rules of the scenario, they cannot flee. There's nowhere to go. This is their last stand, so they've got no choice whatsoever. Over here, this Battle Sister squad got charged by the Burner Boys. However, the Overwatch did nothing. And there's only 1 Sister Superior left there, fighting off the Burner Boys by herself. She has killed off 1, but they are still coming. The next wave of Orcs is not far off. So, the end of turn 1 for the Imperium defenders. They have lost some of the defenders, unfortunately. So, let's go and see what they can do in reprisal. Right, turn 1 movement for the Imperial defenders. So kind of a couple of shuffle arounds over here. So the sister that was in combat down here, she's fallen back into the ruins, leaving this Dominion squad to move up with the Celestine there. Hopefully able to deal with that with some mortal wounds. Up here, the Retributors are kind of seeing what they can do, but essentially we've got some Orc bikes down there that will need addressing. For failing that, there is a big squad of Goth chopper boys down here. This Battle Sister squad that was on the other barricade now flipped over here. Going to be putting some fire down as well into this area here, hopefully dealing some damage. Over here, the veterans or the enforcers have pushed back from the battle wagon, realising that they probably can't take that beast out. So the Commissar and the Preacher there just kind of probably rubbing their shoulders and going, look, you can do it next time. However, up in this building, a squad of Retributors have turned their attention now to the battle wagon, which lays right in front of them, seeing the threat this thing possesses, right behind an Imperial statue. You don't want that thing falling down. And down here, we got the Palatine, who's up here with her Panther pistol, but trusting in this Battle Sister down here to do what she can against these burners. So that's what we've got for defenders. Hopefully, we can put some firepower down and take out some of these filthy Xenos and protect this sacred ground. Right, turn 1 shooting for the Imperial defenders. So over here is the main success story. We had the Retributors up in this tower, pumping in shots, and eventually they took out this this horrible battle wagon. We took it down to 3 wounds initially, then the Sister Superior there with her combi melter fired in and pop gone. The 3's still there. Luckily it didn't explode, otherwise it would have killed quite a few defenders. Down here, the Sister Spirit is holding out, killing off another Orc with her bolt pistol. we had Stormbolter fire going in, as well as the Retributors up in this building, firing down into the Orcs here, killing one and taking one down to 1 wound. The amount of ones rolled on my wound rolls has been very disconcerting. And luckily, Paul's rolled a lot of 4s.
A lot of 4s.
A lot of 4s. However, down here with this Retributor squad, we did get Blessed Bolts, and we did take this guy down to 1 wound. So it kind of tells you that everything else down here didn't do anything. So we're really going to have to go in and charge and kill off the war boss there. And that is really it. We do a couple other little sporadic shots of combi bolters, etc. And the bolt guns down here with the Imagine Fire firing down and killed off one of the Orcs here. This has been a very bad shooting turn for the sisters. So hopefully we're not going to pay for it too badly in the subsequent Orc phase. But we are going to move into turn 1 assault for the Sisters of Battle. Yeah, turn 1 assault for the Battle Sisters. So down here, the Canoness did it. She got charged in, got 3 hits, 1 wound, and Paul failed his invulnerable save. So the war boss has fallen. However, we know he's going to be back soon anyway, so let's not celebrate too early. Over here, however, the Sister Superior, she survived a volley of Orc attacks using one of our miracle dice. We passed 1 save, we then rolled a 4 to pass the other. In the combat phase, we killed another one. Paul then failed his morale and attrition. They've all gone. So she's killed off 4, I'd like to think. So we are still holding the middle. The Orcs have not passed the barricades now, but they can now move in their turn 2. So let's see what the Orcs are going to be doing in their turn 2 movement. Okay, so turn 2 movement for the Orcs. Down here, the Goth boys are just moving up here with their sluggers and choppers. Storm boys have jumped in there, so they're kind of between the barricades against the Dominion here. The looters pushing up there because why not? Down there, you can see we've got the Orc bikes have just roared up as well towards the Canoness. However, reinforcements. So the Burner boys have appeared on the long board edge over here, the short board edge, sorry. And then down here, we've got the Battle Wagon and the War Trike as well. They've reappeared. Battle Wagon essentially reappearing where it was to start with. And you've got the War Trike here just in the ruins. Cross on this edge with the last remaining Battle Sister down here. The Orc shooters have moved up there, just taking aim on this bit of ruin and pretty just going to obliterate her with a just pure dagger that's coming in. So that is it for turn 2 movement for the boys. Let's move in to turn 2 psychic and shooting for the Orcs. So end of turn 2 psychic and shooting for the Orcs. So down here we had the weird boy went off with a cheeky little smite, killing off the Sister Superior who was still surviving, killing off all the burner boys. The shooter boys here in the shooting phase then decided to shoot up towards the Retributors there and did nothing against the Retributors, nothing at all. Lots of dagger going in, but +1 to save, and it's just they're holding out there just about. However, you have noticed the Sister Superior has fallen because the reincarnated Power Wagon saw what happened last time, decided to fire everything up into this building, and yet the Sister Superior has fallen. However, it's not too bad because they will get +1 to hit now. Down here we had sluggers, we had burners, we had grots, all firing into this Dominion squad, killing off one of the Battle Sisters down there. We then had the looters and the bikes firing off to the lone Battle Sister Heavy Flamer down there, and yeah, nothing. She's holding up all by herself down there. So that is the end of turn 2 shooting. So essentially they killed off 3 Battle Sisters, but as we know, the damage is going to be coming in the assault phase rather than the shooting phase. So let's see what the Orcs can do in turn 2 assault. It's end of turn 2 assault for the Orcs. So these shooter boys came in and they pulled down the Palatine. She fell in. She got mangled up by all these shooter boys down here. So it's a bit of a shame down there. Then we move across, and yeah, the battle wagon charged in again, dealing 2 mortal wounds to the commissar, and then finishing him off in combat. Yeah, he didn't really have much of a chance, and consolidated into the Battle Sisters squad. The Battle Sisters fought back and did 2 wounds on the consolidation. Over here, however, the Dominions, yeah, they got charged by the Storm Boys first, taking 3 of the Storm Boys out in Overwatch, and then, yeah, they did a counter-attack or interrupted here, killing off a couple of the Goths, but there were too many. We had the Goths, we had the Death Skulls there, and we had the Storm Boys, and yeah, they unfortunately killed everybody. And down here, the 2 bikes charged into the Canoness, lowering the Canoness down to 2 wounds, but the Canoness fought back, killing off both the Orc bikes there. So a really bloody toll put on the Battle Sisters there. Hopefully we can come back in our turn 2. Right, turn 2 movement for the Battle Sisters. So coming around this side of the battlefield here, we can see hopefully a better picture. So the Battle Sister, who was getting shot at by the looters and the bikes, who survived, and now mounted on top of this ruined tank with a heavy flamer, aiming down here at the Goths. Hopefully she can do something to them. The Canoness here with her infernal pistol might be charging into these Death Skulls. But up on this building, we do have a big squad of Retributors with heavy bolters that can put some fire down on the battlefield wherever it's needed. Dominion squad that were in combat, no, not Dominion squad, the Battle Sister squad that was in combat here have now fallen back just out of range here, because up here the Retributors will be firing their multi-melters once again into the battle wagon. They've killed 1, they can kill another one. Down here, the remaining enforcers, the priest and the few Dominion members there are now moving their attention across the battlefield down into the squad of shooter boys there. Hopefully we can fend off this another invasion across the barricades, but we'll see. So we're going to move in now to turn 2 shooting for the Imperial Defenders. Right, to turn 2 shooting for the Imperial Defenders. So down here you can see the Orcs. The Orc Goths here have taken a bit of a hammering, leaving it just with the knob there. The heavy flamer went in, and I think it 1, maybe 2 off there. But mainly it was the Retributors up here in this building here, just firing down volleys of heavy bolter fire. 2 heavy bolters came in here, just wrecking that squad. Another 2 heavy bolters went into the Death Skulls down there, killing a couple of them off. The Infernal Pistol hit, didn't wound. Toughness 5, apparently it's a lot harder than I thought it would be. Moving over here, the battle wagon has fallen. Because up in this building, the multi-melters all went in and did a load of damage on this the battle wagon, which was down here. We used most of our relatively bad miracle dice to use that. Down here we have the enforcers. So 1 frag grenade went off, killing off 1. The shotgun didn't do anything. The sniper rifle didn't do anything. But the storm bolters there did a couple, killing a few off here. So this squad's been kind of reduced slightly, but still in this ruin. So I've got a feeling I might have to get some charges off and try and deal with them in combat, because that should work, hopefully. And that is it. We've killed off a few orcs. We're going to try and kill off a few more, push them back over the barricade, back to where they belong. So, end of turn 2 assault. Enforcers didn't make it in. However, the priest and the Dominion made it in and hammered the Orcs back. One of the Dominions did fall in the melee, but the rest of the Orcs kind of fell or just cut back. So just leaving the Orc knob there, which is good for us. However, on the other side of the battlefield, we paid a higher cost, unfortunately. The heavy flamer charged into the looters. The looters just beat her to death. Down here as well, the Canoness charged into the Goth, and the Goth killed her and then decided enough's enough and ran off. So yeah, kind of a bit of a waste there, unfortunately, but these things happen in war. So we're now going to move on to turn 3 for the Orcs. Right, turn 3 for the Orcs. So just going through the reinforcements that have turned up here. So 3 Orc bikes have now appeared on this board edge here. So this is going to be quite painful, especially from my point of view. It's never ending. The Goths have now turned up over on this edge where the looters originally were. They've kind of come in here. Looters on the movement phase have just pushed over through the barricade. The burners are down here. The remaining Storm Boys are just below the Retributors at this point here. So hopefully we can get some Overwatch off and finish them off. The Trike has just pushed over this barricade. I mean, really, what would be here would be a couple of ruined battle wagons. But a third battle wagon has now appeared on this side of the battlefield. Down here, the battle wagons appeared on this side. Giving that a go. Down here, the Weird Boy is just moved up here to probably try and smite and charge into combat there. So the Orcs are definitely pressing the very slight advantage they've had. The Battle Sisters and the Guard just been holding out, but I think it's really now tipping in the Orc favour. So let's move on to turn 3 Psychic and Shooting for Orcs. So turn 3 Psychic and Shooting for the Orcs. So the Weird Boy here did a smite, killing off the 2 Dominion squads that are there. So that's one more squad that have fallen. Over here we had the Trike firing everything into the Enforcers here, leaving just the Sergeant of the squad now. The last man standing. The rest of his precinct probably dead as well. The battle wagon across the battlefield here fired everything it could into the Retributors up here. Used a couple of miracle dice to keep these guys alive, which I think is well spent because that's pretty much the only thing I can deal with that battle wagon. Down across the battlefield here, we had the looters firing up into this building. 1 hit, 1 wounded, and yep, saved that one. They were also joined by the bikes down here. Yep, so these bikes fired up as well.
I might have been able to see them actually, but yeah, didn't do any damage.
No, and did nothing there as well. So that's it. Not really a great deal, but even a couple of wounds, it does cost a lot now. Really running low on resources for the Battle Sisters. So let's move into turn 3 Assault for the Orcs. Turn 3 Assault for the Orcs. Didn't quite get a plan. So down here, the Weird Boy charged in, didn't do anything to the Preacher. However, the Preacher fought back, killed the Orc knob off. Moving across here, we then have the War Trike charged over here, killing off a couple of the Battle Sisters there. Battle Sisters fought back, taking 1 wound off of the big old horrible Orc. And then the only other bit of combat here, we had the Storm Boys charge in, attack the Retributors. Didn't do anything. Retributors fought back, killing off the remaining Storm Boy there. So we're now going to move in to turn 3 for the Battle Sisters. Free movement for the Imperial Defenders. So if we move down here, we've still got the Preacher in combat with the Orc here, but we are now moving the last 2. So the Imagine Fire and the remaining Enforcer Sergeant are now moving up here to take on the Weird Boy. We then have the squad of Retributors have come up to this building, or still in the building, but reposition themselves to take on this battle wagon before it rolls in and probably addresses the squad of Sisters that have fallen out of combat here. We then kind of go up, we traverse up. We've got a remaining squad of Retributors up in that building. They've turned their attention down onto the War Trike. However, 1 is now facing the other way towards the other Orcs. Hopefully can do a bit of damage on those burners. So that is it. There's not many souls left holding the Imperial ramparts, but we can hold out. So let's find out what we can do in turn 3 shooting for the Sisters of Battle. So turn 3 shooting. We had the Retributors here fire off a volley of melter shots into another battle wagon, blowing up another one here. If anything, this battlefield is wrecked with battle wagons. It's a 3rd battle wagon killed here. But that was the only good news. The Retributors up in the tower with the heavy bolters failed everything. They fired most of their shots down here, nothing there. They fired some at the burners on the other side, nothing. The only wound, we did 1 wound from the Imagine Fire with a bolt gun, and that's it. So this thing is still going, and it's not going to be nice for this Battle Sister squad. So we're going to move into turn 3 Assault for the Imperial Defenders. Turn 3 combat, and yes, he's still standing. Imagine Fire and the Sergeant of the Enforcers charged into the Weird Boy, did nothing. Weird Boy fought back against the Preacher, and unfortunately for him, he kind of hit 3 times, wounded once. Unfortunately, passed his 4 up and then just knocked out the weird boy. So yeah, he's holding his own in this ruin. Really, pretty much a one-man defense on this flank. So we're going to move on to turn 4 for the Orcs. Right, so turn 4 for the Orcs. In the movement phase, we've got the shooter boys are now turned up on this battle edge again. Over on this side, we then have the weird boy down here. And we've got the Storm Boys down here, because there's quite a lot of Orcs actually died in the last round. We then look back towards the centre of the battlefield. The Wartrike is still in the centre, right by the statue. The sisters are taking personal offence by that. And the bikers are now ridden up right behind him. Battle wagon, that was destroyed in the last round. There's another one that's just rolled on this side here, so that's a 4th battle wagon for this mission. We've got the burner boys that have come into the ruins. The looters have climbed on top of this wrecked tank. The big mech's kind of slowly working his way up this building, heading up towards the retributors, which are on top. And finally, the Goths are down there. The sluggers and choppers are just slowly moving up the street here. Imperial defenders just really so reduced at this point. But we're still holding out in turn 4. So let's move into turn 4, psychic and shooting for the boys. Turn 4, shooting and psychic for the Orcs. This has been pretty painful, to be honest. So you know there's one multi-melter retributor left in that building because a smite came in, killed off 2 of the retributors straight away. They were then hit by more firepower from the shooter boys. Actually, no, shooter boys here actually fired in, killing off the enforcer that was down there. So he's gone. The Wartrike down here killed off the Matrifier down there. We have war bikes here firing off into this building, killing off one there. And then up here, we suffered casualties everywhere. This squad were hammered down by the battle wagon, by the burners, by the looters. It was nasty, but somehow they are still standing there. So let's see what the Orcs can do in their turn 4. Right, so turn 4 assault. The looters charged up, lost 1 to Overwatch, killed another one. The looters killed a battle sister there, so 1's gone. That squad's down to 2 against 2 looters. Who knows what could happen there? The Wartrike charged in, killing off everyone bar the Sister Superior, who was unable to do anything back. So we just added up. There's only 5 Imperial models left. There's a lot of Orc models. Can they hold out another turn? But first off, let's move into turn 4 for the Imperial defenders. Turn 4 movement for the Imperial defenders. We're now down to just a handful of brave souls holding the barricades, what's left of the barricades. So this is Sister Superior under a Vox command is pulled back from the Wartrike there, because the Retributor up in this building is armed with the multi-melter and looking down on the Wartrike there. Followed up down by this preacher down here, the Slayer of Orcs. He's ready to jump in if necessary. Up in this building, the 2 Retributors are still holding out against the looters down below, probably exchanging a bit of fire there. So that is it. We're going to move into turn 4, psychic and shooting for the Imperial defenders. So turn 4 shooting, we killed him off. So up here, we hit... we wounded, it went through. We then used the miracle dice to add to the damage, just to do over 6 wounds. So hit the Wartrike, it's fallen there. The Sister Superior in the corner breathes a sigh of relief. No, that thing was coming for her. Up here, the 2 Retributors are firing their bolt pistols down and missed. So we're going to move into assault. So end of turn 4 assault. The Retributor, 1 fell, got dragged down by the Death Skulls there. Unfortunately, unable to do anything in return. So this battle continues. However, the odds against that Retributor have now doubled. So that's it. We're going to move into turn 5 for the boys.
Everything? That's probably everything.
Here we are. So Paul is just finishing off his movement phase here, because it's getting quite intense. He's got his last turn here to really kind of just make sure the last remaining defenders are dead. And there are still a couple of them about, so he's got to be quite quite detailed here. So these shooter boys have moved up. Just get some shots up, probably into either the preacher down there or the retributor. Up here, the storm boys are joined by the weird boy here. I think you can try a warpath on. The bikes, the 3 bikes now lined up outside this building, outside the blown up doorway where the preacher now stands, the slayer of orcs. He's just holding out just about over in that corner. We move over the battlefield here. The orcs have claimed us pretty much now. It's bodies everywhere on both sides. The war trike is returned on this flank here. The grots look like they're actually doing some sort of engineering job on here, but I think it's just to get them out of the way. Because a speed war has been declared. And the battle wagon now moved up onto this road here. It's got better AP now, I believe, so it's going to be quite nasty. Burner boys all over this ruined tank. And the big mech is now underneath, I believe.
Yeah.
Can you see him there? There we go. There's the big mech just lurking around down there. And that's it. So a lot of movement. Let's see if Paul and the boys can do it as we go into turn 5, psychic and shooting for the orcs. Turn 5, psychic and shooting for the orcs. So down here, the weird boy got smite off against the Sister Superior, killing her off there. Then it was to take out the Retributor up here. So we had the shooter boys down here. We then had the bikes here. We had the storm boys here. We had then finally we had the battle wagon over here, and it finally took her out there. Except for that, we're now going to be moving into assault. It's not looking good. It's down to this preacher, the Orc Slayer, and this Retributor up here, who's in combat with the looters. Oh goodness, we'll see what happens. So let's move into turn 5 assault for the orcs. Turn 5 assault for the orcs, and somehow miracles do happen. And the looters, the burners, and the Big Mac all charged up here, doing their attacks. There's a few fumbles, a few lucky saves. The sister killed one looter back, so she's still alive. And over here, in fact, I don't even think I did my attacks because
Didn't do your attacks, doesn't matter.
No, it doesn't matter because he survived. So somehow at the end of turn 5, at the end of this battle, the Imperial forces have just survived.
Just held on.
You can imagine a flare going up or a Vox signal just coming over their headpiece. And then the Scions are rolling on with the armoured support, just blasting the Xenos back and saving the last 2 survivors and retrieving the bodies of the martyrs. An absolute bloodbath on both sides there. We're not sure how many orcs have been killed off, but I think
3
most
battle wagons.
3 battle wagons at least, a couple of trikes, squad of looters, a few squads of boys. It's been brutal, and yeah, only 2 models left for the sisters as well. So yeah, a really fun game. For myself, this little guy down here is probably going to be my model of the match. I kind of took him at the last minute thing. I thought it could be quite fun, so I took him, and he's held his own. He's still there at the end of the battle. Absolute miracle. Paul, do you have a model of the match at all? Or
one of the 3 battle wagons or 4 battle wagons, I think. It's just great fun doing the just smashing 3d6 and just chucking it into things. It's fun.
Yeah, absolutely. It's definitely been a threat, these battle wagons. And if our Retributors turn and turn again at them. But yeah, really fun game. Hopefully we can replay this mission in the future with some different forces. But until then, an amazing game. Thank you everyone for watching, and see you next time. Take care.